Hollywood has always loved child stars. Their smiles filled movie screens, their faces appeared on magazine covers, and millions of fans adored them. But for every young performer who successfully transitioned into adulthood, many others were left behind by an industry that constantly searched for the next fresh face. Some struggled with lost fame. Others battled personal demons. And a few met heartbreaking ends that shocked the world. Today, we're looking at the tragic stories of child stars whose lives took unexpected turns after the spotlight faded. Bobby Driscoll. Bobby Driscoll was once Disney's brightest young star, a child actor whose future seemed limitless. Born in 1937, he rose to fame after appearing in Song of the South and quickly became one of Walt Disney's favorite performers. His talent earned him a special Juvenile Academy Award, and he went on to star in Treasure Island while also providing the voice and live-action reference for Disney's Peter Pan. At the height of his success, Bobby was seen as the perfect image of youthful adventure and innocence, but as he entered his teenage years, everything changed. Disney executives reportedly felt he no longer fit the image they wanted for their films. His contract was terminated, and acting opportunities became increasingly scarce. Without the support of the studio that had launched his career, Bobby struggled to find work and eventually became involved with drugs and crime. By the 1960s, he was living a troubled life far removed from Hollywood. In 1968, he died alone in New York at just 31 years old. His body went unidentified for years, making his story. Anissa Jones. Anissa Jones became a television sensation as Buffy Davis on the hit sitcom Family Affair. Beginning the role at only 8 years old, she quickly won audiences over with her charm, innocence, and memorable scenes alongside her beloved Mrs. Beasley doll. For 5 successful seasons, she was one of the most recognizable child stars on American television. Millions watched her every week, and many believed she had a long career ahead of her. However, life after Family Affair proved difficult. Once the show ended, Anissa found herself trapped by the image that had made her famous. Casting directors struggled to see her as anything other than Little Buffy, and meaningful acting opportunities became rare. At the same time, personal hardships weighed heavily on her. Her parents' divorce, family conflicts, and the death of her father left emotional scars. As she entered her teenage years, she increasingly turned to a fast-paced lifestyle surrounded by unhealthy influences. In 1976, at only 18 years old, Anissa died from an accidental drug overdose. Her tragic death shocked fans and Scotty Beckett. Scotty Beckett seemed destined for greatness from the moment he appeared on screen. As a child actor in Our Gang and later as young Al Jolson in The Jolson Story, he impressed audiences and critics alike with his natural talent and emotional performances. During the 1930s and 1940s, many industry insiders believed he would successfully transition into adult roles and enjoy a long Hollywood career. Unfortunately, the reality was very different. As Scotty grew older, acting opportunities became harder to find. Like many child stars, he struggled to escape the image audiences had formed of him during his early years. Frustrated by declining success, he turned to alcohol and drugs. His personal life soon became filled with legal troubles, including arrests for drunk driving, drug possession, and other offenses. Repeated attempts to rebuild his career and personal stability ended in disappointment. By the late 1960s, the promising young performer had become another tragic example of Hollywood's darker side. On July 10, 1968, Scotty Beckett was found dead in a Los Angeles motel room at the age of 38. Carl Alfalfa Switzer. Few child stars were as recognizable as Carl Alfalfa Switzer. With his cowlick hairstyle, freckled face, and unforgettable personality, he became one of the standout performers in Our Gang. During the 1930s, audiences adored Alfalfa's comedic misadventures, making him one of the most beloved child actors of his generation. Yet the fame that brought him success as a child would later become one of his greatest obstacles. As Switzer grew older, casting directors struggled to see him as anything other than Alfalfa. Major acting opportunities became increasingly rare, forcing him to take small film roles and various odd jobs to support himself. He worked as a bartender, hunting guide, and dog trainer while trying to maintain a connection to Hollywood. Financial difficulties and personal struggles followed him throughout adulthood. In January 1959, a dispute involving a hunting dog and a debt led to a confrontation with Moses Stilts. During the altercation, Switzer was shot and killed at just 31 years old. His death remains controversial, with conflicting accounts leaving questions unanswered decades later. Bobby Buntrock. Bobby Buntrock became a familiar face to television audiences through his role as Harold Baxter on the popular sitcom Hazel. As the lovable young son in the Baxter household, he spent much of the early 1960s growing up in front of millions of viewers. His natural charm and screen presence helped make him one of television's most recognizable child stars. Unlike many young actors, however, Bobby appeared comfortable stepping away from the spotlight once his show's success came to an end. After Hazel concluded in 1966, Bobby returned to his home state of South Dakota and focused on living a more ordinary life. He completed his education and largely stayed away from Hollywood. Friends described him as down-to-earth and content outside the entertainment industry. Tragically, his life would be cut short before he had the chance to fully define his future. On April 7, 1974, Bobby was driving near Keystone, South Dakota, when his vehicle plunged into Rapid Creek from a bridge that had reportedly suffered damage during the devastating Black Hills flood years earlier. He was only 21 years old. His sudden death shocked former fans who remembered him as one of television's most beloved young stars. Billy "Froggy" Laughlin. Billy Laughlin achieved fame as Froggy in the MGM-produced Our Gang comedy shorts. What made him instantly memorable was his unique raspy voice, a trademark that separated him from every other child performer of the era. Many viewers assumed the voice had been dubbed by an adult, but it was entirely Billy's creation. His distinctive character quickly became a fan favorite and helped secure his place in one of Hollywood's most successful children's series. Unlike many former child stars, Billy showed little interest in chasing fame after his acting career ended. When MGM discontinued its version of Our Gang in 1944, he largely returned to a normal life. Tragically, that ordinary future was cut short. On August 31, 1948, while delivering newspapers on a motor scooter with a friend in California, Billy was struck by a truck. The collision was devastating, throwing him a considerable distance from the vehicle. Although he was rushed to a hospital, his injuries proved fatal. Billy Laughlin died at just 16 years old. For many fans, he remains frozen in time as the lovable Froggy, a young performer whose life ended before he ever had the chance to discover what adulthood might have held. Peggy Ann Garner. In the mid-1940s, Peggy Ann Garner was considered one of Hollywood's brightest young talents. Her breakthrough performance in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn earned widespread critical acclaim and a special Juvenile Academy Award. At only 13 years old, she was being celebrated as one of the most gifted child actresses of her generation. Studios saw enormous potential in her future, and many expected her to enjoy a long and successful career in film. However, as Peggy matured, Hollywood's enthusiasm began to fade. Like many child stars before her, she found it difficult to transition into adult roles. The industry that had once praised her talent struggled to find a place for her as a grown actress. Although she appeared on Broadway and continued acting in various projects, she never regained the level of success she enjoyed as a child. Financial challenges forced her to seek employment outside of entertainment, including work in sales and hotel management. Her personal life was marked by multiple failed marriages and ongoing hardships. In 1984, Peggy Ann Garner died from pancreatic cancer at the age of 52. Her story remains a powerful reminder of how quickly Hollywood can forget even its most celebrated young stars. Today, we remember not only the stars they once were, but the people behind the fame. Their stories serve as both a tribute and a cautionary tale about the cost of growing up in Hollywood. Which of these stories surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey into Hollywood's forgotten history. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.